After me. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Very good. A little louder. Very clear. Listen. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous is just about the only way to describe Remus Lupin dying in the first place. His death was so unnecessary that it still angers me to this day. I mean, really, him and Tonks together, and a little boy is left without parents, just like Harry was. But as JK says, Harry Potter is a sad story, so we've got no choice but to go with it, really. Anyway guys, Remus Lupin is hands down one of the coolest, best written characters of the entire Harry Potter series. Like, if I can give JK credit in any area, it would be on her character development. I've always loved Remus. I've stated several times that he is my favourite character, and I'm really going to enjoy today's brief history video. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm not narrating the whole life of the character. I'm taking you through a brief background of him while highlighting key points in his life, decisions he's made that shaped his future, and just to summarize what he actually represents to me and hopefully all of you as a character. Remus Lupin, like many of his friends, has had a rather sad and tragic life. Actually, come to think of it, every single marauder has had an awful ending. James was murdered by Lord Voldemort, Sirius spent 12 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, then gets out, builds a bond with Harry, and literally gets killed just as he's on the verge of being exonerated. And Peter Pettigrew, well, he got what he deserved, but he had such a pathetic existence anyway. And Remus, well, Remus didn't really get the break he deserved either, did he? Let's talk about his upbringing to start with. It wasn't the easiest of upbringings because he was infected with lycanthropy, and he was infected so young. It's actually extremely unheard of for children so young to contract the disease, and the truth is that it should have been the case for young Remus. He was never supposed to be infected. He never should have been infected. Remus was the subject of a revenge plot by werewolf Fenrir Greyback as a consequence of Lyle Lupin's aggressive anti-werewolf policies. Lyle publicly condemned werewolves and paid the price with his 5-year-old son. The Lupins were devastated at what had happened to Remus and tried every resort in order to cure him of lycanthropy, even taking him to some of the most powerful healers around, but still, nothing could be done about it. The truth is, lycanthropy is like a death sentence. People would look down upon him, think of him as a dirty half-breed. They would not employ him, and then of course, the fear to be around him in case of the possibility of him passing his disease onto them through physical contact, which of course was not factual. I think Remus is extremely relatable to many readers in the real world who've suffered with and are currently still battling life-threatening illnesses. Nobody likes being written off when they're still alive and breathing, and I think it's a fantastic piece of compatibility scripture by J.K. Rowling, which is why there's no surprise that the character is so well liked. Anyway, his schooling didn't prove too difficult. In fact, he had so much support from his friends and headmaster Albus Dumbledore, the latter who made special exemptions for him to enter Hogwarts, and also arranged all the precautions for his transitional periods. His friends went even one step further by learning to become fully fledged animagi in order to accompany Remus during his transformations, as werewolves do not attack other animals, as only human blood attracts them. This way, the three boys could keep an eye on him, even as anti-werewolf legislations became stricter and stricter, which meant Remus could not find employment, or was more than likely just too afraid to out himself publicly as a werewolf. That seen James allow him a monthly allowance in order to get by, as he did not need to work due to his massive inheritance left to him by his parents. However, with the outbreak of the First Wizarding War, things took a turn for the worse. The people Remus relied heavily on were quickly taken from him. James and Lily were killed, which left him without a sickle to his name. Sirius was arrested and sent to Azkaban for the betrayal of the Potters and murder of 12 Muggles, and also the murder of Peter Pettigrew, a story which Remus believed, so he basically lost everyone. Remus began a life of poverty, living in shacks and taking odd jobs in order to get by. He'd done this for years until he acquired the job of Defense Against the Dark Arts professor at Hogwarts. However, he always thought so little of himself. His disease made him believe he was bottom of the barrel, last in the pecking order, wasted goods. But he really did excel in his role as a teacher. The students loved his methods and how well he prepared them with really exciting yet knowledgeable classes. Unfortunately, he was outed as a werewolf and felt he had to depart his job, despite the option for him to remain in the position. He remained a close confidant of Harry, offering him advice when needed. Harry loved when Remus shared stories of his parents and genuinely enjoyed his company. Remus eventually found love with Nymphadora Tonks, but it actually took some time for them to get together, as he would not admit his feelings to her out of fear of expected rejection. He did not feel as if he deserved love, especially by someone as beautiful as Tonks. He still struggles to get his head around the fact that someone could actually love him for the person that he was. The two were married and later even conceived a child, Teddy. Throughout the pregnancy, however, Remus was overly paranoid that his lycanthropy would have been passed on to his son, but fortunately, that turned out to not be the case. Teddy instead inherited his mother's metamorphosis traits and enjoyed changing his hair colour. Just when you think he'd be the only Marauders to have a happy ending, your dreams are crushed as JK added him to the chopping list. Not only him, but his wife Tonks too. During the Battle of Hogwarts, they both lost their lives to Antonin Dolohov and Bellatrix Lestrange respectively. Say what you like about book versus movie comparisons, but there is no worse scene for me, no more of a heartbreaking scene for me to watch in the Deathly Hallows than the two of them lying side by side, with their fingers almost just intertwining, after giving their lives to fight against Voldemort. I honestly believe that Remus Lupin is one of the most genuine and real characters from the Harry Potter series. As I've said, his death is the one that it still bugs me to this day. There was just no need for it, if you ask me. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed a brief history of Remus Lupin. Do me a favour, let me know in the comments section below, do you think Remus Lupin could have been spared without taking any more drama away from, the ending of the story? Let me know in the comments section below, and let me know what character you want to see and let me know what character you want to see a brief history on next, and I'll be sure to do it. Thanks again guys, and I will see you all in the very next video.